Hello everybody, welcome. This is Melissa Dupuis here doing a live video with Huda Karam, owner at Oswego Beauty and Laser. Huda is the business owner here as well as a certified esthetician. She is going to perform an IPL treatment on beautiful Carly here, who has some sun damage on her décolleté. That sun damage will come up after years and years of exposure in our youth. So what we're going to try to do is break up that pigment, get it to rise to the surface, have it slough off, leaving her with a more even skin tone on her décolleté. So
we just did the sit-in for her type skin, and we're gonna start
we'll talk about what the IPL does, what it treats, what it feels like, what to expect afterwards. So go ahead and get started, Huda.
We have all our safety goggles on,
yes,
and we do some tests.
And her skin has been clean and prepped. It's important that the area is cleansed very, very thoroughly before having a treatment. You don't want any perfume, any self-tanners, any lotions, because it can and will cause the skin to burn.
And we already did a layer of the gel, fake gel, to cool the skin down. And now we will do a first pulse test.
So we'll see a bright light here.
And we're gonna put it on standby.
So I want to talk a little bit about what the IPL does. The IPL is a device that targets dyschromia in the skin, which is sun damage, the browns, the reds in the skin. It can also target at different wavelengths acne, or even do hair removal in some cases. Today we're focusing on the browns that are in her décolleté area. So
so the parting is okay, so the setting is good. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the décolleté.
Yep, we're gonna cover it. So the browns are, like I said, from sun exposure. Even with sunscreen at, you know, an SPF 50, you're still getting some mild exposure in that area. And that's just an area that's really hard to protect completely because the sun does beam down on it even when you're in your car and you're driving. So we're looking for things that are, you know, we'll treat freckles, we'll treat age spots. You'll get a little bit of collagen production with it as well, so it'll help give that smoother, tighter appearance to the skin. This device is also able to treat any vascular lesions on the face, so any telangiectasia, broken capillaries, great for rosacea as well. Oh, Lucy's watching. Hey, Lucy. What she'll feel right now is a little bit of snappy, so more heat. The gel will provide cooling. There's also a cooling tip on the handpiece itself, so it makes it a little more comfortable, but there is a little bit of snappy feeling, like a tight little rubber band snap. In some cases, people are, depending on the severity of their sun damage, will numb them up sometimes, as long as we're treating the browns. If we're treating any vascular stuff, we won't numb you up because that numbing will constrict those vessels, and we need to see those vessels. Post-treatment, what she'll look like is that these brown spots are going to darken, they're going to lift. The cells that contain the pigment are destroyed and they rise to the surface, and then they will slough off over a period of 5 days to 2 weeks. So she'll have this appearance of coffee grounds. That's what we like to call it in the aesthetic industry. It'll get darker, the spots themselves will get darker, and then surrounding pigment cells that are brought up to the surface will darken as well. Recovery time, I prefer my patients not to wear makeup within 24 hours of the treatment. We want to just keep it clean. There's a little bit of exfoliation process that goes on with the IPL, so we just want to keep it as clean as possible. Don't want to, you want to avoid any excessive heat, no sauna, no hot tub, more cooler, tepid water. Avoid any harsh exfoliants, any alcohol-based toners, any retinols for about 5 days to a week post-treatment as well. It takes about 1 to 2 weeks for the area to heal completely. You can go on with exercise after 24 to 48 hours. When I mean heal, I mean you don't want to do any treatment afterwards for about 2 weeks, because we want this skin to be completely healed and the repair area to be healthy as well. Some people want to know how long the results last in a treatment like this. There is no one and done. There is no quick fix, and anything in life when you get to a certain age is all about maintenance. So we'll have her go through a series of 3 to 4 treatments. We'll space those out about 4 weeks. And then you want to come in and have one treatment every 3 to 6 months. Not necessarily a whole series, unless in the summertime you're exposed to the sun and you get that pigment to come back or more pigment to rise to the surface. The one thing I want to stress is when you are focusing on doing IPL treatments, you really, really, really want to be committed to avoiding sun exposure. The idea of this is to reverse that damage, to break up that damage, and any sun exposure will create even more sun damage. It's vital that you don't have any exposure 3 to 4 weeks before your treatment and after your treatment, because it will make that pigment worse and it will make it darken. So I recommend doing, you want to do these in fall, you want to do these in winter and maybe early spring, and then kind of back off in the summertime. SPF is going to be your anti-aging lifesaver for sure. So I would do in the winter time about an SPF 30. In the summertime you want an SPF 50. And anything more than that just has extra chemicals. It's really not that much more coverage in the skin, but you definitely want to reapply.
So we can see here the pigment getting darker.
Yeah, it's nice. It lifted, and it will continue to get darker. So immediately after the treatment, there'll be a little erythema, a little bit of redness, and then the darkening of those pigment cells. Her post-care is going to be sunscreen for sure. But when we're talking about long-term results, there are certain products that she's going to need to be on, and those are melanin inhibiting products. So your vitamin C's, your arbutin, your kojic acid, your retinols are all melanin inhibitors, skin lighteners, skin brighteners, and those will be a vital step in maintaining the results. Some people we will put on hydroquinone prior to treating, because this device is a light-based device that targets pigment. It's best for lighter skin, fairer skin. If we're treating let's say, because it typically targets pigment. Other wavelengths, other devices in the IPL family will, like I said, treat acne, and it treats it very, very well, and will also treat hair removal. But today we were focusing on the pigment, and I cannot wait to see her post results and have her back and have Huda treat her again in 4 weeks and get this all cleared up.
Yeah, so now we're gonna just place a SPF to protect, and it's also a hydrating cream.
Yeah, you never, ever, ever, as a technician, someone does not want to send their patient out without being protected with sunscreen first, especially when doing light-based devices. So I'm gonna move this camera, and I am going to show her décolleté area. Oh, that is good. Wow, that really did darken up.
Dark and
yep, and you can see some redness in there.
Yeah,